but this thing pulls. Hachi machi. Yeah, it's pretty fast. 385 wheel horsepower, I believe it. What's up, YouTubers? It's your old buddy Hardworker 12 with you, and today I have a 2014 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution GSR. Now, over the years, there have been many great automotive rivalries. Ford versus Chevy versus Dodge, Toyota versus Honda versus Nissan, Mercedes-Benz versus BMW versus Audi versus Porsche, but the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart would be the Subaru WRX STI versus the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. And of course, I'm a little bit of a Subaru guy, I'll just be upfront about that. And if I wanted to be a jerk, I could go on about how the contemporary WRX STI had a lighter curb weight, more factory horsepower, a larger fuel tank, more cargo room, but that wouldn't be very nice. We're just gonna take this car for what it is. Now, this vehicle actually belongs to a friend of mine, and he is all into modifying his cars. This is tuned to run on straight E85. It has a Grimspeed electronic boost controller, ETC upper intercooler piping, an MA Performance Evo 10 inline fuel filter, a Walbro 255 liter per hour high pressure fuel pump, Cobb 3-inch downpipe, MA Performance catted test pipe, Cobb 3-inch Catback exhaust, and a Spectre drop-in air filter, and it is making 385 horsepower on the dynamometer, which is very impressive. So today what we're going to do is we're going to test drive the car. Now, unfortunately, it is on the stock clutch, which was not the strongest piece to begin with on the Evolutions, and with all of its additional power, I'm not going to be launching the car or doing any super crazy acceleration, but we will drive it, and we'll also go through whatever curves I can find and test the legendary Lancer Evolution handling. So let's get started and take it for a spin. All right, so driving the Evo 10. Now, I have driven a handful of Evos previously in my life. I've driven a couple of Evo 8s, I've driven an Evo 9 MR, and I've driven an Evo 10, but it was an MR with the DCT. This being the GSR, it's got the 5-speed manual, which is much more desirable for modding because the 5-speed transmission in these is strong enough to take the extra power. The 6-speed manual was a little bit weaker, and I don't think you'd want to tune that DCT. That probably wouldn't be a great idea. The one thing that the Evo does, and one thing Evo guys claim, is that it handles better than the WRX STI. And annoyingly, I might have to concede that they have a point there. It has a different feel to it. It's difficult to explain if you haven't driven the two cars. The STI, you have to kind of manhandle it more, whereas the Evo has a lot more electronics going on for its all-wheel drive system. You have active yaw control, you have different sort of digital modes. You've got the snow mode and the tarmac mode and all that. The STI allows you to alter the torque split. Oh, this guy's killing me right now. But I think because the Evo's a little bit more computer controlled, the computers do work and it sorts itself out in the middle of a turn. On the power through the turn, it hangs on pretty good. The car I'm comparing this most to in my mind is my 2017 WRX STI that I lease returned last year. And I mean, that was a little bit of a newer design, but I would say the handling in this is pretty close. This car feels, and it is older. I mean, this is a 2014. I'm filming this in 2021, so it's a 7-year-old car. This one's only got 41,000 miles on it. And this is a pretty bad road, but there's definitely some squeaks and rattles. You know, the Evos, to me, they always felt a little bit cheaper than the STIs. And not to say that the STI feels like any kind of expensive luxury car, because it certainly doesn't, but it does feel like it was put together with a little bit more care than the Evo. Ooh, but this thing pulls. Hachi machi. Yeah, it's pretty fast. 385 wheel horsepower, I believe it. All right, third gear at 30. Turbo lag's not too bad. It's definitely there, but this is, if you've ever driven like a stock Evo 8 or Evo 9, the turbo lag on those things was just ridiculous. I think they redid the engine for the 10 and they reduced the turbo lag somewhat. All right, we've got a divided road. Yeah, it's fast. I would definitely say, I would definitely say it's a step up from my old STI. Of course, mine was stock. It only had 305 horsepower, so that extra 80 horsepower you can definitely feel. Part of it might be the gearing though, because at 60, let me see here. At exactly 60 miles an hour, I'm doing about 2,800 RPM, which seems like a lot. I can see why people like these things. For me personally, I feel like it does feel a little bit more fragile than a Subaru, and maybe that's just my own biases coming into play, what I think I know, which may or may not be correct. And like under hard acceleration, I hit a little bit of a dip and the car kind of wanted to jump a little bit. My STI would have been smoother through there. The handling is sharper on the Evolution. I grudgingly concede that. It's not a massive difference, but I would say that on a track, like a short track, probably one of these would be a little bit better. I still like the engine layout in the Subaru better, just how it's a horizontally opposed engine, so it sits lower in the engine compartment and it's mounted longitudinally, so you have a cleaner transfer of power. But I get it. If you love an Evo, I get it. It is a fun car, there's no question about that. So that was my video on the Lancer Evolution GSR that my friend tuned up. I did enjoy the car quite a bit, more than I would like to admit based on my Subaru heart, but that's okay. It was a great car. If you liked my video, please like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.